What's up, guys? Standard Lifestyle, where we talk about what is probably the most surprising fabrication tool I've ever used. If you've been a long-time subscriber, you know that my favorite way to cut steel and aluminum is with a portable bandsaw. Around 7 months ago, Evolution sent me this saw, no strings attached. I wasn't obligated to give a review video, and I wasn't even considering doing a video on this tool, but so many of you guys have asked about it in the comments. What's interesting is that I've had the saw for like 7 months, but I've seen a lot of interest and a lot of questions about this saw recently. And so when I was doing research for this video, after I decided that maybe I should make it a topic, I noticed that a lot of places are selling out of this saw, at least everywhere that I looked online, and I'm trying to figure out why that is. I build something out of metal pretty much every week, and I use this saw in pretty much every one of those projects. If you've watched many of my videos, you've seen me cut things for the front bumper, build these sliders, build the suspension on this rig, build the steering, build the roof rack, build all kinds of stuff in here. Building the roll cage for this truck. There's so many instances in which I have used this saw over the last 7 months, and believe it or not, I'm still on the original blade. Take a look at that. It's probably not going to focus, but that says 54 degrees. So not only does this saw cut extremely fast, it's probably yelling at you. Not only does this saw cut extremely fast, but it cuts cold, which to me is an added bonus. When you're using abrasive saws, one of the biggest disadvantages by far is the fact that it takes forever to cut, probably 5 to 10 times longer than we would see in this example. And it's smoky and it makes your material hot. So you have to wait for it to cool until you can move on to the next step. I used a Portaband for work for a lot of years, and I love this tool. It has been my favorite tool to cut steel and aluminum until I got the Evolution power saw. The temperature is not drastically different. This is gonna raise it a little bit, so we're at 65 degrees Fahrenheit. Once again, you're not gonna be able to focus on that. But there's a lot of reasons that this is still a very valuable tool and a very viable tool to use in the shop. I just think that I'm using it much less because it is slightly slower, and you do have to factor in the fact that with a chop saw, you're gonna get a truly square cut every time. One of the reasons I was so skeptical about the Evolution power saw was the fact that the blade appeared to have a relatively low tooth count, and this mimics something that you would see with a wood blade or an aluminum blade, but not with a steel blade. A good example of this is with bandsaw blades. You need a high TPI count blade in order to cut steel. TPI is teeth per inch, and with a low TPI blade, those work great for wood, plastic, aluminum, things like that. They just don't seem to work very well for steel. So my knee-jerk reaction with the Evolution blade is that it looks like it just wouldn't be very good at cutting steel and lasting very long. But here we are after 7 months of use, and the blade looks great. It still cuts great. I'm having no issues with longevity, that's for sure. But if you're in the market for a saw like this, there is one thing I would absolutely consider, and that is these crazy chips that it produces. The chips that are produced by this saw are pretty hot and they're relatively sharp. Even with all the protections that Evolution has put in place to keep all of that contained, you will still get the occasional chip that's going to bounce back and head your direction. I've definitely had the occasional burn on one of my cheeks or on my arm if I don't have myself completely protected. Your safety is your business. I think that it's worth telling you about these chips, so when you order this tool, you can just order a face shield. Now, with any tool of this type, bare minimum, safety glasses, of course. I'm not telling you what to do, I'm just giving you my recommendations, because in the last 7 months, I have caught 2 hot chunks of steel that ended up landing on my cheek and burned me a little bit. And I have been lazy about buying a face shield. When I was writing this episode, I actually ordered one. It should be today from Amazon. So I highly recommend that with this machine specifically, you get something that's gonna shield your whole face and neck, and then you wear long sleeves. It sucks when you have one of these little shavings, it's just lava hot, land on your face or land on the inside of your arm or anything like that. So it's definitely worth investing the extra $20 or $30 to get a halfway decent face shield and just protect your body. Look what showed up. Right after I got done shooting that last scene, the face shield showed up. See, if I'd have waited a little bit, I could have just lied and said I use a face shield all the time. All right, I like it. 30 bucks. Not too bad. Should do the job, there's no doubt about it. So what is the conclusion to this video? Conclusion is, I think that these are selling out all over the place for two reasons. I bet if I shot an email to Evolution, they would probably tell me that it's partially COVID, and I would guess that their sales are up. Because I've seen so many people posting recently online saying that they picked up one of these saws and they love it. I've seen it on social media. So I think that a good product has been promoted really well by the company. They sent it to guys like me to promote, which I didn't have to do, by the way. This is a complete no obligation thing. They just said, hey, we want to send it to you so people see you use it on the channel. This video is 100% my opinion, and I was under no obligation to do it. I just thought that it seemed like a good time to do it because I've seen such a big explosion of questions about this product, and I've seen so many people buying it recently online that, I mean, obviously people are interested. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Now I'm going to finish up the video with some quick comments and questions from the last video. The last video was Rover Lander finally has 1-ton axles. And the first question is from Mike Lee. What does it take to make a Sterling fit a JKU in the rear? And honestly, you would do the exact same thing that I did in this scenario. If you rewind back to earlier on in the series, you're going to see that I take certain steps to shoehorn this thing in there. I center it. It's going to be the exact same process. Now, with the JKU, you have so much more aftermarket support than I do with the Land Rover Discovery. So what I would recommend is look at kits. You could probably find a bracket kit that will make it to where you can just weld on the brackets that you need onto the Sterling that will adapt to your OEM suspension or whatever aftermarket suspension is that you're running. So I would look into a kit if I was in your position, but it's honestly, it's the same for almost any vehicle. You center it, you get it where you want it, maybe put some wheels on it and whatnot, and then go from there. Next question from Rob Jones. You still doing trail to SEMA run with the Disco? I wish. So I actually meant to bring this up in the last episode. I found out about a month ago we're not doing Trail to SEMA. I've been waiting to announce it officially because I don't know. I don't feel like it's my place to let the world know that it fell through. But between everything crazy that has gone on this year, between fires that are shutting down the areas they want to take us, COVID restrictions, all kinds of craziness, they just couldn't make it work. So unfortunately, the end of the series will not be concluding on Trail to SEMA. But that gives me more time to finish this the way I want to. I don't have to rush anything, and then I'll come up with something special for a nice ending to the series to really push this thing and see what it's made of. Last question is from Big Shots. Nate, what are your thoughts on supposed reliability issues of the Disco? I've always been enamored with the Disco, but never thought of one due to the rumored reliability issues of the engines. So I know there are definitely reliability issues associated with these vehicles. I have not experienced any real problems. The biggest problem, of course, is overheating. And whenever I buy a vehicle and I know it's prone to an issue, I do what I can to make sure that's not a problem before I start using it. So I think that if you bought one of these brand new N03 off the showroom floor, you're probably not going to just drive it and it starts overheating on the way home. These were probably, if the cooling system is maintained, it's probably not that big of an issue, right? And so to test that, whenever I got it, I flushed everything out, put new coolant in it, made sure that everything was functioning properly, made sure the thermostat's opening, make sure the water pump's working, all of that stuff. And then this summer, I went down, we were going through Death Valley, it was 106 degrees, I had the AC on full blast, and the temps didn't rise at all. So I would say that I have not experienced the reliability issues yet. But if I do, I'll absolutely share it honestly. I'm not married to this thing at all. I think that this is a cool experiment. I love the vehicle so far. But if things just start falling apart left and right and it's breaking down at a pace that I can't keep up, then I guess I'll sell it and get a Toyota. I don't know. But I think that right now everything looks really good. And worst case scenario, I just pull that motor out, rebuild the whole thing, and take care of any issues that I see being being a problem. But right now, I really like it, and the reliability issues are not something that has affected me. That's it for today. Thank you so much for watching this video. I didn't want to make it too long. Hopefully, when I edit everything, it's not too crazy. I don't think a review video should be like 30 minutes long, at least not for something this simple, and that's not something that I would like. So I'm going to try to keep it under 10 minutes. We'll see how close I get. And if you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. If you want to help support the channel, you can go to thedirtlifestyle.com. We have t-shirts, hats, neck gaiters, stickers, all the stuff I tell you about at the end of every one of these episodes. And we also have a link to our Patreon account there as well. If you want to follow me on social media, I'm @DirtLifestyleNate. We'll see you next time.